Hi, this is one of my video notes. So it is just like the equivalent of just scrolling down a few things. I suppose the main thing I've been wondering about, or that has been occurring to me, is the idea of lateral worlds, really. Because I think these things are quite important. Yeah. Oh, pickle. I think these things are quite important. And I have this sense of shadow worlds, which are lateral to our own, and which are very important in creative processes. Related to this is also the idea of there being two kinds of magic, which I think is okay to refer to as white and black magic, actually, but without the moral overtones, because the universe really isn't a very moral place. There is the magic of working with holisms and working with, you could say, going with the flow, really, working with the universe, which is more like a kind of a connection with source and a channeling and an interaction of resonances and patterns. And this is it's a very healing kind of magic. It's very safe, and from our point of view, from a conventional point of view, it's very safe. And it tends to be somewhat gentle, and it's slower to manifest, but it tends to be very stable. So I'd refer to that as white magic, really. It's what some people refer to as positive magic, or what have you, and it certainly is a very useful and very good skill. And then there's black magic, which is the thing that arises more essentially from the individuating self, and which declares its own will, its own law, in a sense, and seeks to manifest it. And this can take quite a lot of different forms, but it can go against nature and against the universe. And in fact, it's very important that it is able to do so, otherwise it can't do its job. And this sort of magic tends to manifest more dramatically and with more striking results, but because it's a sort of outburst which can be oblique to the universe or sidereal to the universe, its results may not be quite as stable as those of white magic. Which isn't to say that it's not useful. Far from it. But you have to you actually have to get to know what the parameters and the limits are, and what the time factors are, and then you build on those things. You build on those things. I think in some ways it's a bit like comparing. I mean, black magic is a bit more like modern medicine. It drives things. It uh, it could be accused of being unbalanced. It could be accused of many things, but the things, it gets results, and it gets them quickly. Whereas if you just developed on, if you just depended on a more natural scheme, you maybe would not have the time to turn around a situation. And so I really see black magic as being the precursor of science, and I also see it as being the origin of the artistic impulse in many ways. In a lot of ways, human history is a story of black magic. Human history, it's a kind of it is a story of black magic, art, science, our cultural evolutions and revolutions. And I think that's something that makes sense to me and that I find interesting. But one needs the connection to source of white magic, in a sense, I think, in one form or another. One needs that too. And this, to come back to this, to the the lateral worlds, the shadow worlds. These are entire systems of worlds which are really kind of like behind what we take to be the universe, or to the side of it. And I think it's important to have good relationships with these, because from this comes an enormous amount of fulfillment and an enormous amount of creativity from these places. And so I think the relationships of worlds is a beneficial one. How you characterize these worlds, I'm not sure. But I do believe it's important. I think it's connected with the operation of black magic as well. It's an evolutionary thing, I believe, a creative thing, and it brings about forms of growth and development, because how things actually happen isn't according to some sort of divine plan. It's a play of things, and it's really, I don't think you would refer to it as like the unfolding of a plan, as some people do. No, it's a matter of creativity, and creativity manifesting, and that is in all sorts of ways unpredictable. And we, as magicians, or warlocks, or witches, or whatever you want to call us, we have the place of actually participating in this and forming our own path, going our own way, being our own person, being our own being, and that is part of the secret of it, really. I think that's about it, really. Like I said, it's just a video note, really. It's not this isn't a finished piece, so it will be a bit sketchy and probably a bit vague at times, but I hope that's kind of interesting anyway. And here's my dog Pickles, in case you want to have a look. There he is, my little Pickles, looking very sweet, as always. Okay, that's it.